Leon Todd for G66. Welcome to another Tuesday Tone Tip. On today's video, I want to talk about one parameter in the FX3 and now in the FM9 that you can use to just put that final little sprinkle of goodness on your favorite guitar tone. I'm going to start out with this Les Paul plugged straight into the FX3. I'm using the ODS 100 Clean amp paired up with my own EV-IR. This is actually my Gift of Tone Clean preset, which you can download using the link below, and I've got the lovely Rich Hall reverb on here. To just give you an idea of the starting point, I'm going to play this. Pay close attention to when I play with my fingers and I play really softly, the kind of big, fat, clean sound I get, and when I dig in, I start to get a little bit of breakup. This, to my ears anyway, is the definition of an edge breakup tone. Let's hear it on the bridge pickup. Feels like that amp model is rewarding you for the way that you play, and playing something like this, it does really encourage me to play dynamically and explore all the little nuances and articulations that you can get on an electric guitar. It's a whole lot of fun, but there is a parameter under the Dynamics tab on here called Input Dynamics. It was previously available only on the FX3. The FM9 has it now in its latest beta release, and I will show you a workaround for the FM3 towards the end of this video. But essentially, Input Dynamics is a one-knob control which can take that particular thing that I'm enjoying about the ODS 100 Clean, that real lovely dynamic range, and change it. You can either increase it with positive values, which means that the Input Dynamics works as an expander, or you can use negative values to let it act as a compressor. What I'm going to do now is, let's set it at 0, and I'm going to hit 2, and we'll take Input Dynamics to 2. I should move my keyboard over here before I do this. It will make it a lot less awkward for everybody. So you're going to hear it at 0. I'm going to play a chord as hard as I can, and I'm going to back right off and use my fingers. Then we'll hear the same thing with Input Dynamics at the value of 2. Let's go. Now, in that expander setting, you can think of that as a dynamic gain control. It's adding a little bit of gain, but only when I play really hard and when I dig in. It's that thing before where the amp was rewarding me for my playing dynamics. It's now giving me even more of those rewards. And the higher you turn this control, the more you're going to get that. For example, we'll go from 0 to 4 this time on here. 2 is just about right for what I like, but you'll really hear the pronounced effect when I go from 0 to 4, especially when I'm playing heavy. The nice thing is that because it is a dynamic control, if I'm playing really soft, nothing is going to change. I'm not crossing that threshold where the expander kicks in. Let's do the same thing, 0 and then 4. I really like those expand settings for those edge of breakup sounds. Again, it's like an extra gain reward on top of everything when I really dig in. But if I was going for a really smooth, heavily distorted lead sound, I might actually want to use negative values. In this case, it's going to act like a compressor. It's just going to even out what I'm playing so that all the notes more or less start to sound a little bit more the same in terms of the overall volume and gain. Let's maybe set it to say -4, we'll go for an extreme value, and I'll play around with this Mark Series amp model. This is my Filth from the Gift of Tone pack that I put up. Let's have a listen to it. Now, if you're on an FM3, the input dynamics is not present on the amp block, but you can use the compressor block to get the same effect. In fact, the compressor block will give you even more control. We want to bring up the compressor block before the amp, go to the type, and we're going to go to the dynamics processor. Now your dynamics control maps to exactly the same parameter that the amp block input dynamics. So this one here, whatever you set input dynamics to, just set it here in the dynamics parameter of the dynamics processor. But now you've got things like the attack and release time. You've got a level control on there if you want to use it as a boost and maybe bring this in and out. And you've also got control over the threshold and some sidechain characteristics. So for this, I'm on the Cameron CCV2A. One thing that I think works really well, again, is just setting the dynamics to around 2, just to get a little bit more of that kind of crunchy goodness out of a Marshall style amp. The CCV is basically a heavily modded Marshall style circuit. Let's hear it with the dynamics at 0. When I hit enter, it's going to go to 2. This is great if you like that kind of AC/DC style stuff, although this is going to have way more gain than a typical AC/DC style preset. Like I said earlier, this works as a great always-on effect. Values of between maybe 1 and 3, which might seem a little conservative, but I think work really, really well, again, just as that extra little sweetener on top of your already existing tone. My personal preference is to pretty much always use it on edge of breakup tones nowadays, but it works great in front of like a crunchy Marshall style thing, and you can use negative values on there if you want some compression without using a compressor block. Have a go. Let me know your thoughts when you try this one out, and let me know any suggestions for future Tuesday tone tips that you would like to see. Until next week, have a good one, and I'll see you then.